My name is Fricke Mantoura and I'm a director in Accenture Strategy. And what I do is I work with our clients who are struggling with challenges around social and environmental responsibility. But what I really do there is I focus on helping them identify new opportunities to create value. I have worked with clients in consumer goods, banking, mining, chemical manufacturing even. I've worked across quite a broad variety of clients. The past couple of years, what's been interesting, I've been really focusing on communications, media and technology clients. And now I'm finding myself in a position of bringing some of the thinking that those types of clients want to bring to the market to the original sets of clients I was working with previously. So there's a real kind of cross-industry, I guess, convergence happening at the moment. So an example of this cross-industry convergence I'm seeing would be, say, the use of mobile phone technology in helping smallholder farmers in low to middle income countries. I actually did a study a few years ago with Vodafone looking at exactly that. And of course, Vodafone is looking to do a couple of things. One, do something good in the world, but also find a way to generate new revenues and identify new customers that might be interested in their products and services. So in doing so, we actually found a set of opportunities that they could pursue that actually were of interest not just to the smallholder farmers, but also to large corporates really seeking to increase not only security of their supply chain, but also do their own piece to help people who are in that situation, smallholder farmers in low to middle income countries, and help them increase their livelihoods. So it's actually kind of double impact where you start to see the mobile phone company benefiting, the consumer goods company benefiting, but also the smallholder farmers themselves, which is just so rewarding. I'm actually a mechanical engineer by training, and when I was graduating, I was being encouraged to consider careers in oil and gas, or oh Caroline, do you know the challenges that Unilever might have about moving a frozen chicken across the the production line? And I just thought my life it has to be a bit more than that. I have to think of something more impactful. Like, what can I do that's going to make a positive contribution to society? And that's when I realised or discovered that I could actually be an engineer focused on sustainable development. And I got my foundational experience in sustainability working for a company called Arup in their San Francisco office. And that was a real, just wonderful experience of getting the education. I got to work with clients who were at the forefront of low energy and sustainable building design. And it was after that I realised that, I could change kind of one building at a time, but I really wanted to work with bigger leverage. So that's what brought me to ultimately Accenture, where I get to work with large companies where they've got big budgets and thinking what to do with those budgets to make different decisions that are more impactful and wider ranging than the kinds of impact I had before. The change I'd like to make in the work that I do, actually, I still feel like I'm somewhat restricted. You're always at the behest of what the client wants to do, obviously. And so I work very hard to try and help them understand or think through, are they asking the right questions? Are they coming out with the right problem? And that's something I really enjoy, because there's nothing better than helping them see that actually there's something they haven't thought of already. Now is the right time, and there has never been a better time to make those kinds of changes to your business while also rethinking the paradigm in which you operate, and to think about how you could make your things using less materials or less energy, how you could encourage more people to contribute to your supply chain, how your impact and purpose could actually be wider and make a more positive impact on society while still getting to do all those wonderful commercial things that you need to do for your shareholders. So my kind of real passion is this idea that business as we know it, business as usual, is not really working. It's not really designed to create value in a sustainable way. And when I say sustainable, I mean in perpetuity, right? So it's not lots of tree hugging, and it's not all about carbon, and it's not all about community and volunteering. It's about how do we operate our organisations in a way that can continue in perpetuity. And what's kind of interesting to me at the moment is there is a real movement around digital transformation. I would say we're at the foothills of the fourth industrial revolution, and companies are really taking this moment to figure out how they will reinvent themselves for a digital future. And I think it's the right time for them to actually also rethink, well, what the digital future looks like, not outside of being digital. It's a world in which there'll be greater scrutiny on how we perform, greater scrutiny on how we use resources, how we impact people, how we treat people, and work with each other. And ultimately, the system today, I don't think, is kind of working as well as it could, But I think it's just such an amazing opportunity now to take advantage of digital transformation and rethink the business paradigm. So when we talk about digital transformation, it really happens in about 4 stages. We talk about harnessing technology to drive efficiencies in the organisation in order to transform the core business in the first place. And what that does is that unlocks investment capacity to then plug back into the business and really grow that core business. But of course, in a digital future, our core businesses that we see today aren't necessarily the same thing anymore. They need to be redesigned, as I've been saying about reimagining, etc. And so what should that new business actually look like? You can't just change overnight though. So what we actually find is that they will have pockets of innovation around the outside of their core business, where they might be toying with a new type of business model, a new type of product, something different that you would never expect that organisation to do. And what can happen is innovation on the edge can either get eaten up by the antibodies of the business, or it can be allowed to flourish. But by doing it on the edge, it gives it a chance to kind of get its feet, set some roots. And once you get the right innovation on the edge, the right new business model, the right new product, whatever it might be, that's when you really start to look for the right one to scale. You scale the new after you've transformed the core. And when that new idea has got the momentum and it's got the pace that it needs and it's got the base that it needs, that's the time at which in the future I think we'll see a lot more businesses actually rotating their entire business. They'll make a wise, no regret move to pivot towards that new business as the old business starts to fit into decline in this digital future that doesn't necessarily need it anymore. So that's what's so fascinating. There's this journey that businesses are on right now, and in each step of that journey, I think the kind of lens of thinking about holistically, thinking about society and the environment is really it's an opportunity to make a real difference, a lasting difference.